This is Hollywood, and there's not a place in the world that's like it.
Hollywood. Joe.
Man, I love this town.
Just we're walking down there. You know, we're gonna do a whole couple of programs on the stars along the streets of Hollywood and the different unique things that are along the boulevard. But I just couldn't pass up Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin. I mean, both of them incredible silent film stars, and both of them did incredibly well in the talkies. So anyway, Hollywood legends, Buster, my good friend. Buster and me. Always loved Buster because we're almost exactly the same size, you know. And Buster, what are you shooting today? You got anything to say? You want to say to the folks there at back in Hollywood? See, that's Charlie from his silent film days, right? Listen, silent film. Let's do it again. I told you he was a silent screen star. All right, this video is go over here, say hello to Charlie. Charlie. Okay, wait a minute. Charlie Chaplin here. What are we looking at, Charlie? Okay. Careful. Okay. Shh. Round the corner. Okay. I'll see where they are for you, Charlie. We love you, Charlie. Peace, love. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So over here we have our gallery of monsters, and the first one is, of course, Gort from that classic science fiction film from the early 50s, The Day the Earth Stood Still, with Michael Rennie.
It was a beautiful movie, and he was actually a good guy.
He was
Came
a good
to really
guy.
save the Earth.
He was an alien who was a good guy, which can't be said for the monster next to it, which is one of the aliens, the she-aliens from Alien, the movie. Actually, this one is from Alien, the Resurrection.
Alien, the Resurrection. And this is called She-Alien?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's the alien.
Okay.
Sometimes they're male and sometimes female, who knows, right?
Okay, but whatever, they are monsters.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And then we've got General Urzus from Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
In full military regalia.
Oh, that's now. Is this the actual costume that
The
he wore?
actual costume, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrific. It took him, like they say, hours and hours and hours to do this.
Well, the makeup, that was.
Yeah.
Now that's just a model in there, so
Yeah.
a mannequin. And then next to it is another alien, a completely different alien from Independence Day. This is the alien that blows up the White House in Independence Day.
And kills Jack Nicklaus.
That's right.
Yes, okay.
So now you see he's only up to about here, torso, because he's standing behind a control panel. So they didn't need the lower part of him. And what you can also see is that this is an animatronic puppet. In other words, it's worked with wires that get pulled, and that's how the alien was moved.
Well, and an incredible amount of wires it takes to make this.
But it's mechanical. It's not electrical. You know, it's like a bicycle brake. You pull a wire and something moves. So.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, and even half a monster can take care of the White House.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
You know. Okay.
And then we have a she-devil here, and this is a hand puppet.
Oh my God.
Worked let's see the rods and back. The puppeteer would be in black velvet, and he would work it. And this is from Kull the Conqueror, the 1997.
Kull the Conqueror.
Kull the Conqueror.
Wow, okay.
Kevin Sorbo. Then next to it, of course, the Predator.
Predator.
From the Predator movie. The first Predator, not Predator versus the Alien.
It's the first Predator. And the skull, of course, in the Predator's hands. And Wow.
And then finally, this is one of the alien attack ships, models from Independence Day.
From Independence Day.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, Chris, this is your property department. Look at the wealth of stuff that you have here. I never imagined. Could you? It would take us a week to explain all of this stuff, but could you touch on some of the highlights?
Yeah, what we try to do here is, give people an idea of what it's like to be in a real studio and a property department, which are huge. This is one room. If you went to the old studios, they were the size of Macy's, the property departments, filled with stuff. So we have a lot of stuff which is just generic, tons of furniture and things like that they use because they were making 100 movies a year in the old days.
Absolutely.
Every studio.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pieces is this thing right up here. That is the Betty ship from Aliens: The Resurrection, which we got from Fox.
What is it? The Betty ship?
The Betty ship.
The Betty
yeah,
ship.
The Betty ship. Yeah,
Oh,
it's called
my
the
goodness.
Betty ship. Don't ask me why, but it's the Betty ship from Aliens: The Resurrection.
Now, of course, with the special effects, this looked like a gigantic monster out there in space.
And truth be told, it's also kind of an anachronism now because nobody makes these kinds of models in Hollywood anymore. Up until a few years ago they did, but now it's all computer-generated graphics. And so the people that used to do this kind of work, which were great artists, most of them are out of work because everybody wants to do it with a computer. Yeah. Even though computers, it turns out, are more expensive than to have a real model, and the real models often look much better. But hey, that's modernity.
That's progress, I guess, is what they call it.
That's what they call it. So
now, I don't know if you folks heard that. What's kicking in is the air conditioner, because I'm assuming you have to keep this at a certain climate here, so these things
absolutely.
stay.
When you're in a museum and you want to make sure you have proper climate and humidity and temperature control.
So what do you keep it here at about 70?
Yeah. And we try to keep it about 50% humidity.
50% humidity. Yeah.
You'll probably remember this. This was The Untouchables. Kevin Costner as Elliot Ness shooting it out with the cops in Union Station in Chicago. And this baby carriage is bouncing down the stairs, and everybody's worried that the baby's going to get killed in the crossfire.
Yes.
But hey, it's an American movie. We don't have dead babies in American movies. We have happy endings, right?
Absolutely.
So the baby gets saved. Now, actually, that scene was stolen from a Russian movie called Potemkin, where the Cossacks are slaughtering peasants, and the baby carriage is bouncing down the Odessa steps, and there the baby gets killed. But, that's a Russian movie, right?
And Potemkin is one of the most famous. I mean, you don't go to film class without seeing a Potemkin, and that shot going down the steps is still to this day one of the most famous movie shots in all of film, and they still try to figure out how in the heck he did it. Yeah. If you want to stay on that angle, Gary, I'm going to ask about this shoe shine chair here.
That's also from The Untouchables.
From The Untouchables. Wow.
Oh, this is from Kung Fu, David Carradine movie.
David Carradine, absolutely.
So his moccasins, his flute, etc.
Well, and these are the actual moccasins? The actual flute?
That's right.
Yeah.
Which he gave to us himself.
Yeah. Are these from a movie? I mean, they look like right out of my past.
A lot of the props we have here are just generic props because props are usually pretty generic because they're used to dress a set.
Absolutely.
And so these gas tanks from the 1940s, who knows? They may have been in any number of movies that take place during World War II or afterwards. And of course, they are also real-world objects. That means at some point in their life, they were probably real gas tanks used somewhere.
I don't know. I'm probably a little older than you. I may have used this myself. Back here now, is the public allowed back here?
Oh yeah, where we're in the property department in this area and where we're all heading, this is our docent-led tour. So when you come in here, you experience this with a docent, and it's a 45-minute talk to go through this area.
I see.
We tell people, we give a lot of history about Hollywood and the studios and things, and how Hollywood's changed. In the old days, there was the big studio system. Nowadays, of course, everyone's freelance.
Yeah.
And they're only independent producers. The studios are pretty much rental studios.
Yeah.
They don't really make films themselves
Absolutely.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a very different economic situation.
Yeah.
Also for the people who work in Hollywood. In the old days, they were under contract. They punched in the morning, punched out at night, and they got paid whether they were working on a specific film or not.
Right.
Nowadays, of course, you're unemployed, or you're working part-time, or you're working only a little bit because you're only working one film at a time.
Yeah.
Which is what I tell people why they're watching, 10 minutes of credits at the end of a film. It's all those people. They need to document that they've worked on that particular film. That's the way they get their next job. You see, all those credits. In the old days, there weren't those credits. You had a few at the beginning, and that was it.
That's
So.
absolutely right. That's absolutely, and in Hollywood, Joe never thought about that. But, everybody's on their resume, and they have these movies. And in the old days, there was no way to check. But now,
so when I go to a movie, I always sit and watch those things. I mean, partially out of interest, but also kind of out of respect for all those people that put all that work into making those movies.
you notice, Chris, and I'm sure you do, that the real Hollywood movie makers and people, movie aficionados, they stay to the absolute end
That's
in the
right.
movie theaters. But the casual movie
Right.
goer, he gets up and leaves when it says the end.
I came in here in like 79, I think, tail end of 79, 80, something like that. And 12 years later, I got my first job, and I've been working ever since, pretty much.
It's smooth sailing all the way.
Every child needs a place to call home. To call home. Every child needs a place
where they can grow up healthy
and learn and be safe. Safe, a place where they can play and dream and plan for their future. In the Habitat house, my parents helped build. In the Habitat house, my daddy helped build. My parents. My mommy and daddy. I study. I grow. I learn. I live. A house. A house. A house. A chance.
a future.
A house, a chance, a future are all in your hands. Your support can help put a decent roof over the heads of a family like mine. Like mine. Like mine. To learn how you can help, visit habitat.org.
There's a series out there called Project Greenlight, and Dwayne Whitaker is a hero of this series. It's about how to make a horror movie, and he comes into the audition a dark horse. Nobody wants him, but he ends up getting the part, and he's the star of the movie, and everybody loves him. Dwayne Whitaker. Here we are at Moore Park at Laurel Canyon in Hollywood, and Dwayne Whitaker is giving us a few minutes at his office. Come on over here with me. I hope you remember me. I did about 6 movies with you.
We worked together at one time. I don't. Generally, the better I'm doing, the more I forget.
Yeah, the more names you forget. I understand that.
I noticed in the '70s, I was actually in Texas doing dinner theater, but I appreciate the TV credits.
You just have so many credits. It seems like you must have been out here
late
longer.
80s,
Yeah.
I'm not quite as old as you are, I don't think. Didn't you do a TV movie that certain summer or something like that?
Certain summer. No, that was that Martin. Wait a second. Hold on. I gotta get that sheen off my face. All right. Okay. So yeah, before we get into Project Greenlight and the movie Feast, of which the critics are saying, man, you've stole the film. Tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you come to Hollywood? And more important than that, what made you come to Hollywood?
There was a warrant out, and no, I can't.
True.
No, I came out. Like I said, I was doing dinner theater, and I thought, hell, this is easy. I should be able to make a living out in Hollywood. So I came out here, and 10, 12 years later, I got a job, and it's just been a roll ever since.
10, 12 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
took over the town immediately.
Yeah. What was your first job? I mean, acting job. I know you did a lot of security work and such.
Yeah, we could talk about some of my security jobs.
Yeah.
My first network TV job I think where I actually did anything of any significance was Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Oh, I remember that TV series. Absolutely, yeah. And what did you play?
I played the wife-beating husband. Which I played a lot of those.
I don't know why that ever cast you as that.
My agent was like, every time like abusive guy. That was what I got to do. But
you got a headshot you can show us, the headshot you work with?
let's see what I got. See, I have to come to the park here. I used to go to Starbucks, but the fans, it's got to the point where I just can't get anything done. So.
Well, he's saying this in jest, but actually this is true. There he is.
It's obviously me.
Mr. Whitaker without the beard?
Actually.
With and without the beard.
Yeah.
This man is definitely an actor. How does he do it? little magic there. Dwayne, or should I say Mr. Whitaker now that yours.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes. Mr. Whitaker. What year was it that you came out here? You left Dinner Theater in Texas and you came out here to Hollywood, California.
I believe I left the Hayloft Dinner Theater, which, by the way, was run by the famous Payless Craver.
I think that name is self-explanatory.
You would think, but it's worse than you would think. I came in here in like 79, I think, tail end of 79, 80, something like that. And 12 years later, I got my first job, and I've been working ever since, pretty much.
It's smooth sailing all the way.
It's been, they say you're going to struggle. I've never really struggled.
Tell us a little bit about Pulp Fiction.
Well, I met Quentin on this. Actually, we have visual aid, Eddie Presley, featuring Joe Estevez as my father, oddly enough. We had to really age you for that. Put the gray in the hair. Of course, that's been a while.
Yeah. Somehow I couldn't wash it out,
But actually, Quentin played a small part in that, and I ran into him in a coffee shop about a year and a half later or more, and we got in a conversation, and he said, I'm doing this movie. You're kind of right for it, and I went in and ended up eventually getting the part. It was almost that stupid. And so that I think that's the one that's pretty much going to stick with me for better or worse.
After Pulp Fiction, I understand you wrote Dusted On too, not only being in it, but wrote it.
Yeah, I co-wrote it with the director, Scott Spiegel, who hopefully will hire me again at some point. He hasn't called lusely, but I know he's busy.
Well, I have the feeling after Feast, your phone is going to be ringing a lot. And you shot Dusted On too, where, in Africa?
In Cape Town, South Africa, doubling for Texas for some reason. It was an economic thing, apparently. But I don't even like to fly to Vegas, and that's a 17-hour flight, so it was pretty miserable.
Something that you obviously wanted to do, to be on a plane that long.
I tried to figure out how to take a boat over, but that took like a month. So I figured 17 hours was better than that. But it was, and of course we flew through a storm, 16 hours of it. So it was unpleasant, but it was a fun. Actually, it wasn't a fun shoot, but it was an interesting shoot. A lot of stuff blowing up.
Yeah. And you survived it. So.
Yeah, no, I mean
Listen, let's jump to present day and tell us a little bit about this series, Project Greenlight, and the movie that it's about, Feast. How you got involved in it, how you ended up getting the one of the starring roles and stealing the movie.
Stealing the movie.
That's the word out there on the street. I'm just telling you what I hear.
Well, I actually knew the director. The director is John Gulager, who's Clu Gulager's son, who I've worked with, who's actually in the movie with us, Eddie Presley. And I went in, and everyone just fell in love with me. It was a love fest from this. They're looking for conflict, but I walked into the room and they were pretty much all like, "That's the guy," And so, it was one of those things where it just all worked out. The producer, the casting director, particularly liked me.
So we're going to see this in the series, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
You're going to walk in that door, and they're just going to pretty much lay down and bow and say, "The man has arrived."
Yeah, that's basically what happens. They whatever the price, I think was the word.
Pay it.
They said whatever he wants, give it to him. Name above the title, whatever he's asking. You know, he's the boss man.
So Dwayne, God bless you. What's up next for you after Feast hits the theaters?
I wrote a movie that I'm going to direct called 30 Weight, and we're still raising the money for that. We've got about $3.80 raised so far, so we're well on our way with that one, and hopefully shoot that in Texas. We got a bunch of Kamanga. We have a bunch of people committed to do that. I'm going to abuse all my friends and you know.
I have to ask you this question. What's in it for me, Dwayne?
I think I'm seeing you as the irritable convenience store employee.
I actually you're thinking of me. I got a part.
No, I do.
I love this guy.
Always.
This is Hollywood. I love this guy.
I think there'll be $100 from our company to your corporation for the
Wow.
services.
So I'm getting a full 100% raise from the last time I worked with you.
Yeah. There'll be no 10%. There'll be no plus 10. Just 100.
I love you, man.
Right.
Continued success. This is the largest record store in the whole world, right?
The largest independent.
The largest independent. You don't find it here? It don't exist.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Now, I gotta tell you, I always thought that amoebas were those little microscopic things that swam around in dirty water, you know? Not so, at least not in Hollywood. This place, Amoeba Records, it's come on the scene. This place is doing business hand over fist. They also, they're on the beautification Hollywood thing. We get to go around, check it out, see what they're about. Come on. I'll tell you something, I want to show you something that you don't see at Amoeba. Okay, now here's their Amoeba, and that's just, now you look at this here. You see this white space here. Now, this is very rare. It's called a blank wall. A blank wall. They don't have a whole lot of that at Amoeba, okay?
This way.
So it's like if you're into, whoops, I'm sorry, if you're into music, this is the place you gotta be. It's all under one roof here. Myself, you know, I like folk music, I like classic, I like easy listening. Yeah, I like a little bit of reggae. I think this rap thing has kind of passed me by. I really don't, you know, I really don't get anything from it, you know. But I'm sure any kind of music I want, it's right here. Jazz is fine. A whole section here, nothing but jazz. Wow. Used jazz CDs. Wow.
Used is kind of blended in with the new. Yeah, we do. This is our stage. We do live music in the store a few nights a week. I don't know if you saw our marquee when you came in, but we have all kinds of music here. We've done world music, we've done blues, jazz, pop, rock. We've actually had in here anywhere from, you know, a small instrument might just be a couple hundred people on up to over 1,500 people in the store.
Wow. 15 listening to for the performances?
Yeah.
Wow.
This stuff changes all the time. Anything from books to hats to little tchotchkes, pins.
Well, you get the Kiss, you get the King Elvis there, you get the Cliff, Clark Gable, Montgomery Cliff. Oh my goodness, and the Misfits. This is an incredible collectible here. Right. Wow. It's overwhelming, isn't it?
It is overwhelming. It's a lot to take in. Yes.
If I get lost, I'll be at the child pickup counter, okay? You could find me, okay. This is, wow, really. What don't they have? They got everything. Everything in the world you're looking for. This is the largest record store in the whole world, right?
The largest independent.
Largest independent. You don't find it here? They don't exist.
You want to spend some money, Joe?
Say again?
You want to spend some money?
No. No. I'm not a new age guy. I just, if it's something other than a 78 or a 45 or a 33, I'm lost, but I love this place. It's very busy. I mean, the walls, it's all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Amoeba, what can I say? A very, very busy place. I like the lady. I like the place. It belongs here at Sunset in Cahuenga. Hey, you won't find Hollywood Joe there a lot, but that doesn't mean you're going to find about 2 million other people there any time of the day or night. Check it out. It's a great place. Come on. Come on. Stay around. We got lots of more places to see. Come on. Don't you turn that channel. You stay with us. You hear me? What? What?
Joe!